I'm Jeff Lyons. It is Wednesday night, September the 17th. Time for the 14First Alert Weather Show at 9 o'clock. Remember, we stream every night at 9 o'clock to give you a weather update a little more extensive than we have time to do on TV. And you can participate. You can ask your questions or make your comments on the 14 News Facebook page. So I'll look at those as we get into the program here and try to serve everybody who's on here tonight. We appreciate you watching. Well, not much has changed, obviously. We still have clear skies out there. The air quality alert has been extended into Thursday. Now, we did hit that unhealthy for sensitive group level today. Ozone levels running around 105. 100's the low cutoff there for unhealthy for sensitive groups. And some weekend showers, maybe even some thunderstorms coming our way by Monday and Tuesday next week. To that air quality alert, and we are actually among many urban areas here that are concerned about air quality. We have a lot of bright sunshine, high temperatures, and not much wind. And so those factors make the ozone levels increase. So St. Louis is in it, Nashville, Atlanta, and of course Evansville, Louisville, Cincinnati, Indy, and Pittsburgh, way up there in western Pennsylvania. All will experience some level of higher ozone tomorrow. And as I said, it will be in that unhealthy for sensitive groups range. This is primarily for folks with compromised lungs, right? If you have COPD, asthma, heart conditions, anything like that, you'll want to avoid getting out and doing much tomorrow afternoon. It'll be harder to breathe, or you may get short of breath. If you're just healthy and can get out all the time, you probably won't notice any significant difference in your ability to breathe tomorrow. Burn bans are still where they were yesterday. We've added no new ones today, but for all practical purposes, all the counties should be red as it is extremely dry and therefore prone to wildfires through the first rain, whenever that shows up. We are seeing some hints of scattered showers on Friday. Don't know what to make of that just yet. I think the cold front's still going to be too far west to really churn up any meaningful rainfall. But over the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and then more so for Monday, Tuesday, we have a much better shot at getting some rain. By then we have more of a moist plume of air coming up off the Gulf to interact with that cold front that'll be coming in from the west. Temperatures right now, or dew points rather, are in the 50s, and that is really low. In fact, today there was a period where the temperature was 92, but it felt like 88. So because of the evaporative cooling, it's kind of the opposite of the heat index, where your sweat very rapidly and efficiently evaporates, so you actually feel cooler than what the temperature shows. It was still hot, though, especially if you were in direct sunlight. Over the weekend, our best chances for rain start to rear their head on Monday and Tuesday, but we will see scattered showers along the way on Saturday and Sunday. Both the GFS and the European now showing around an inch of rain through that early half of next week. That was the GFS. This is the European. And they're both at least within striking distance of each other. And anytime they agree, that usually gets our attention because, you know, if we have consistency in the models, it gives us more confidence that we will see some rain. Whether we'll get an inch and a half of rain or not is still, of course, a big question mark. And we know from talking about this here on the Weather Show that the longer range forecast models can be very variable there at, you know, day 4, 5, 6 and beyond. The temperature out there now is a comfortable 72 degrees, and we have 70s now all over the tri-state, 67 already at Fairfield, and Washington there in Daviess County, 65 right now. So again, that dry air really cools quickly. We get a big spread in the temperature, about 30 degrees again today. We started at 60 and went up 32 degrees there to 92. So the lows have been right on target. The highs have been running about 7 to 10 degrees warmer than the norm for this time of the year. 6 days in a row now for our heat wave with temperatures in the 90s or greater. No rain, of course, to add. And for the month, we are now behind an inch. And our average temperature continues to trend warmer with these 90s. Despite that, we are still slightly cooler on average than normal. For tomorrow, we get back into the low 90s again. There just isn't any escape. We have high pressure right on top of us, And it's holding these showers and storms to the west. You probably noticed, if you've watched here the last 3 days, the rain is popping up in exactly the same position. So we just kind of have this, everybody's like a standoff here. The high pressure won't move, the cold front can't move, the moisture keeps coming up. So we have all this rain out here in the plains, and they need it too, by the way, but we just can't coax any to get in here until we break down the high pressure ridge, which should begin this weekend. Out in the Atlantic Ocean, we do have a named storm now. Gabrielle is expected to become a Category 1 hurricane by Sunday, passing just out here to the east. You can hardly see it there, but that's Bermuda. So there will be, surf and wind and so forth there at Bermuda, but it's not expected to make a direct hit. Thunderstorm chances 0 for, of course, today and tomorrow. Friday looks a little more interesting there as that thunderstorm risk extends almost into the middle of the tri-state. Again, we would be looking at just general thunderstorms here. There's nothing organized. There's not the upper air support or other elements for severe weather, widespread severe weather. And if we did have a strong to severe storm, the main impact would likely be damaging winds. But again, that's a very, very slim chance for Friday. That high pressure will keep on trucking there and move on into the Appalachians and then eventually the Tidewater region here on Friday. And that will allow then some space for that cold front to start to move in and generate some rainfall for us. Again, that shows up better on these longer range models. So we're going to look at the GFS first. And you can kind of make out where the front is right there, that low sitting up here in Minneapolis in Minnesota. And as it pushes east, it will work with the moisture available to generate some rain. And then by Monday, we get another cold front, or probably the cold front, pushing in. And you see a stronger, larger area of low pressure there to generate the push for us. That's what the GFS is showing us. The European model, a similar solution here, and again, the GFS rainfall was around 1.5 inches. Now we look at the European, and it's generating some rain on Sunday, Monday early, and then again on Tuesday early, and maybe even Wednesday. And its solution here nets about 1 inch to 1.1 inches. Now remember, we can't say precisely we will have 1.1 inches of rain next week, kind of like you can never say there will be 4 inches of snow. But the guidance, the numbers that we show you at least give us a hint whether it's just going to be trace amounts or something a little more meaty. 61 tonight, clear skies. Tomorrow we get up to 93. It will be sunny through the day and with that air quality alert. And then fall begins on Monday, 84 degrees then, and some showers and thunderstorms possible. Temperature outlook through the 27th is still warmer than normal. Normal is about 80 for the high this time of the year. And our rainfall chances look like they may increase a little bit as we round out the month here of September. Our pet pick tonight, everybody remembers Peanut here from Riley Seibert. I appreciate all the pet picks, by the way, but I've used them all. So if you've got good pet picks and you want to see them here on the streaming show at 9, just submit them there on 14news.com. You'll see us submit photos. There's a picture of a big butterfly on there right now. It's our homepage here for the station. Just scroll down and you'll see pet picks down there. Put them in that category, so I'll be sure to see them. All right, we'll let Peanut glare at us here for a minute, and I'll see what kind of questions you have here. If I can find our live shot here, our streaming show. It should be in here. All right. Well, oh, for Pete's sake. I just had it up here. It's always something, isn't it? You know, well, I saw a few viewers on there a moment ago. Why can I not get to that? There's always something that bollockses up the program here. Let me, I know what I'll do. I'll close the app and then reopen it, right? Refresh. Although I think News has already posted stuff above me here, so it's kind of hard to see how many tabs I have open here on my phone. Probably not best practices. Okay, I'm going to give it one more look. I see nothing. Oh, you know what? I can do it this way. Let's do that. Aha, there we are. All right. But I can't see your comments. Well, rats. Oh, there they are right there. Okay. I know a lot of you are panicking, maybe even calling the authorities, but we're good. We're very good here. Okay, now let's see what you really want to know. William Raleigh says, definitely need the rain. You cut your grass today, created a dust storm. I hope Tesla was in with an iced tea watching you from the air conditioning. Closing the pool this week, Jeff Miller. Oh, that's a sad day. That and when you get the last good watermelon of the summer, you know. We got a really good one this weekend, still pretty firm, but you know, they start getting kind of mushy. The Cheyenne Hammonds is in there. Joan Clay is on. How are you doing, Joan? Ricky Brown? Is it going to get cooler? Yes, next week a little bit cooler. Now, I know what you mean. You want like 75 during the day and 55 at night. That's still probably a month off. Maybe for Fall Festival, which is the first full week in October, we can get it into a comfortable range. And we have hello there from Lenny Howard, Donna Brown. John Radis wants to know if this will be the last heat wave of the year. I hope so. Typically our last 90 happens sometime mid-September, so we're kind of there. William Raleigh, sugar harvest, I found out, is in full swing up in Michigan, up in the Thumb, up there by Saginaw. Okay, I didn't know they grew sugar up there. I thought that was like a southern thing. Sugar cane. All right, here we go. Unless it's maple sugar. I wonder what you must mean the other kind that they're harvesting. Okay, for Science Corner, I wanted to talk about the air quality for a minute. Now, these dots represent air monitors that are scattered all over the United States. Here in the tri-state, we have 5 or 6 of them. Most here around Evansville. There's a couple over toward Newburgh, out by the Kaiser aluminum plant, and then farther out into Owensboro. Anyway, they're all showing yellow right now, which would be moderate air quality. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. And tomorrow, that forecast air quality is probably going to turn orange in some spots. Well, that's interesting. It was orange. We're orange up here in Indianapolis, but we are also expecting that air quality tomorrow to get into that unhealthy for sensitive groups again. And the reason we get so much or so many air quality alerts in these conditions is we don't have a lot of wind, we have very bright sunshine and heat, right? 92, 93. And so car exhaust will react with that ultraviolet radiation and produce ozone, O3. There's a great chemical equation for it, and I wish I could just rattle it off for you here, but it's not chemistry class, and who really wants a chemistry lesson at this hour? But basically, the breakdown then creates more O3 molecules, which are ozone, instead of O2, which would be oxygen. And if you're stuck in traffic, this is why we tell people not to idle their cars and things like that. You would be much more prone to this if you were near like traffic, idling cars, backed up highways, stuff like that. If you live out in the country, ozone levels probably are not as big a deal. The other particulate or the other pollutant that we concern ourselves with a lot around here is fine particulate, fine ash, smoke, you know, from the wildfires like we had in Canada and out west, and that gets drawn in here. And of course, we burn a fair amount of coal in this part of the country, and coal can produce pollution too. Now, one of the things that at least power plants do to mitigate that is they have very tall smokestacks, and they scrub the coal smoke before it goes into the atmosphere. And that's another chemical process. I think they use limestone or something. The byproduct is gypsum, which is used in wallboard and sheetrock. And then what comes out of the smokestack still has some pollutants in it, of course. You can't make it completely clean, but it's much less polluting than it was, say, 30 or 40 years ago. But despite that, if we don't have a lot of wind to divert the pollution, then it can concentrate here at the ground. I told you that the main factor is the heat and the sunlight, and the question now, of course, is when will we have our last 90-degree temperature? Last year, we hit 95 degrees on September the 21st, near the first day of fall, and the year prior to that, we had finished up the 90s on the 5th. On average, we finish it up around the middle of the month, the 16th, so we're there. And the latest we've ever had a 90 here in the tri-state was way back in 1963 when we had 90 on the 22nd. So that's not really a record we want to break, even for the bragging rights. I don't think anybody's much interested in that. Oh, sugar beets. William Raleigh says it's sugar beets. The processing them makes it stink in Croswell, Michigan, the sugar mill. I'll bet it does. All right, interesting. Well, I didn't know they grew beets up there either. I thought it was all apples and stuff like that in Michigan. Let's see. I think we got everybody's questions answered. So I appreciate you watching the stream show here. Of course, I'll see you over on 14 News at 10, and I'll be back here tomorrow night again at 9 o'clock. Stay safe. Have a good night.